Hello, this is Daniel Vasquez, your NPU program coordinator, and today I will tell you how the NPU agendas are created and what the expectations are between our office and the NPUs. On the left side, you can see the first page of a standard agenda. The date and Zoom credentials are listed at the top of the page and followed by the basic contact information that the chair has chosen to list on the agenda. The City Department Representatives tab, shown here as number 4, serves as a general presentation section for updates from city departments like the Atlanta Police Department, the Fire Department, Watershed, etc. The coordination of these presentations is handled between the NPU leadership and those departments. When calling out these departments to present during a meeting, please be sure to invite public safety officers first. Now direct your attention to the bottom of the page, that long rectangle. Here you will find a blurb containing the membership definitions and attendance requirements for the NPU. This is based on the 2022 NPU bylaws, which are actually hyperlinked to the blurb. So if you ever need to access your bylaws in the middle of a meeting, just click here. Just above that box, listed as number 9, you will find the Presentations tab. This section is reserved for presentations requested by either internal city departments or various external organizations such as Atlanta Beltline, MARTA, Atlanta Bicycle Coalition, state representatives, and others. Presentation requests from external organizations must be approved by the NPU chair. Our department schedules presentations through the use of the presentation request form. If a presentation is listed under this tab, our department must have a completed presentation request form filled for it. That form can be found on the NPU landing page of the City of Atlanta's website. If you receive a presentation request directly and not from our office, please direct the requester to me. If the request to add a presentation comes from the NPU leadership itself, however, then the NPU leadership must either have the presenter fill out the form or a member of the NPU itself can fill out the form. Please note that presentations are not voting items, with the exception of those associated with requests for public funding, such as Invest Atlanta. The Matters for Voting section of the agenda contains items that require recommendations from the NPU. These may be variance and rezoning applications, as well as text amendments to the zoning ordinance and land use amendments. You will also see applications seeking alcohol license, as well as permits for special events. As a rule of thumb, when dealing with variances and rezoning applications, please direct your attention to the hearing date listed on the email sent to you. They will be included in the NPU meeting a month prior to the listed hearing date. This means that if the hearing date is in March, you will see the application on your February NPU agenda for a vote. In contrast, alcohol permit and special event applications are assigned to the next upcoming NPU agenda if our office receives those up to 6 business days prior to said NPU meeting. The Notice to Appear documents contain the NPU meeting dates assigned to the applications, so be sure to open those when you receive them via email. On this slide, you can see the Notice to Appear forms that are issued for both alcohol permits and special events applications. At the time that our office assigns the date on these forms, they are provided to the applicants, which are also directed to contact the NPU to iron out the details of their presentation. These forms, alongside the application, are also sent to the NPU chair and zoning contact. Once you get through the Matters for Voting section, you arrive at the Matters for Review and Comment section. Common items featured on this section include subdivision applications, appeals, proposed legislation, and permit applications located in an adjacent NPU but situated within 300 feet of the borderline. The NPU is invited to provide us with comments on these items. Please note that applicants for these adjacent applications are not required to attend the NPU meetings of the adjacent NPU. The Public Notices and Announcements section was created to list food truck permits, fee change and name change legislation, NPU-related reminders, non-campaigning notices and DCP announcements, and other items which require neither a vote or a comment, but are listed on the agenda for informational purposes. Making the NPU agendas and keeping the task on track is a mammoth task, and we have a system to keep everyone together. To illustrate this, the calendar on the left shows every NPU meeting scheduled for the month of January 2022. The calendar on the right will isolate the NPU-M January meeting, which as you can see is scheduled to take place on the 24th. Now, if you look at the area in yellow, the draft version of the NPU-M January agenda, which is based on the voting report from the previous month, will be sent to the NPU chair and zoning contact by me on January 10th. That is 10 business days prior to the NPU meeting. This provides the NPU leadership the chance to spot any errors on the agenda for the next 4 business days. Examples of potential errors range from applications that the NPU expects to see on the agenda but are not in it, or perhaps applications that the NPU and the applicant have agreed to defer to a future meeting, or applications that the applicant claims will be withdrawn. If you spot these or other potential errors, please reach out to me as soon as possible so I can investigate and make the appropriate changes. Please note, new applications, such as those for special events and alcohol permits, may still be added to the agenda during the draft stage if they're provided to our office prior to the agenda's final publishing. That takes place 5 business days before the NPU meeting, which in this case is January the 17th, that peachy color box. Now multiply this process by 25 for 12 months, and you've got a glimpse of what it's like to be me. The day that the agenda is published, I will send out the final copy to the NPU chair, zoning contact, and assigned planner. The NPU landing page on the City of Atlanta's website is updated with the new agenda, and announcements are made on social media channels of the upcoming meeting. Notice of the upcoming meeting is also sent to the individuals who have requested to receive monthly meeting reminders. These notices are also sent to alcohol permit and special events applicants and those who have scheduled presentations through our office. The day following your meeting is arguably the most important day in this entire cycle. Our prime task at this stage is to provide the relevant departments with the NPU recommendations as promptly as possible and to record the attendance from the meeting. NPU planners are required to provide the voting report of the meeting to both myself and the NPU leadership by 10 a.m. the following day. Applications for alcohol permits and special events require the completion of additional forms, which I will provide to the NPU chair. If the NPU has a list of conditions associated with a recommendation, please be sure to route them to our office at this stage to ensure that we are able to provide them to the appropriate department in a timely fashion. Post-meeting tasks also include making the NPU recommendations available to the public through our NPU dashboard. Though the NPUs are not required to provide meeting minutes to our office, they may be turned in to us at this point for file keeping purposes. Here you'll see some of the forms that were discussed in the previous slide. So back when we were meeting physically, the NPUs were provided with these beautiful attendance sheets you see on the left, and the NPU planners were required to bring them back to our office the day after the meeting. Because we're currently meeting virtually, we don't have to worry about these right now. If you're using the city's Zoom account, Tony's going to be able to pull the information for us the next day, so I will not need to bother you for attendance reports. Just go check out his presentation on remote meetings after you're finished with this one. Now, if you're using your own Zoom account, definitely expect to hear from me the day after the meeting for the attendance report. Now check out the document in the middle. This is an example of an alcohol permit voting form, which I will send to the NPU chair after the meeting to complete and sign. And to the right, you will see the standard voting report form, which the planner will fill out and send to the chair to confirm and co-sign. And that's the cycle in a nutshell. If you missed anything the first time around, don't worry. The entire cycle will repeat itself in about 2 weeks. I know we've covered a lot of material, so if you have any questions, do not hesitate to call me. I am available at 404-330-6637 or via email at dvasques@atlantagA.gov.